It used to be that locking your front door and keeping your wallet safe covered most of what you needed to worry about to protect yourself. No more. With rates of identity theft on the rise, securing your online identity is the new normal and requires a whole different kind of personal protection. Greg Wolfond is chairman and CEO at Secure Key Technologies, and he joins us now for more on this. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We checked out a survey, 24 countries, revealing that nearly 80% of people surveyed were concerned about having their financial information stolen. And I guess I want to know, how right are they to be that concerned?
They're right to be concerned. The cyber criminals are out there, and it's ironic, but people are more concerned now with having their identity stolen online than they are about being mugged or having some other kind of crime committed.
Is that right?
It's true.
And I guess statistics would tell us they're much more likely to suffer an online crime than otherwise.
Very much so, yeah.
Very much so. A Canadian study revealed that $1.8 billion was stolen from 10 million Canadians last year. Do we have to assume that this is only going to get worse as we look forward?
Yeah, some of that is card-not-present shopping fraud, but some of it is real fraud, where they've taken over identities and they've put a mortgage on your home or done something else. So the bad guys are out there, they're trying to get value in any way that they can, and they're just looking for data so they can become you.
I'm told on a per capita basis, Americans are much more likely to suffer this than Canadians. Is that true?
It's a little bit more in the United States right now because we've got chip and PIN and we've had some security before them, but it's happening all over the world.
What's the most common way that somebody would steal your identity?
So there's all kinds of ways they get it, right? So what the bad guys are trying to do is they're trying to get your name and address. They're trying to get your date of birth. They're trying to get your SIN number. Ways that they can actually prove that they're you to get access to services, right? So if they can send you a note from the CRA and say, answer all these questions because it's a penalty thing and you answer them, they can then become you and pose at the CRA and say, I want a tax refund or I want something else to be you. So they're all out looking for all kinds of ways to get data. And it doesn't have to be from a bank, for example. They can breach any one of the 7.8 billion records that were stolen last year. So from a site that's innocuous, they could get your mother's maiden name, they could get answers to your knowledge-based questions. And it's everything they can do to take that data, put it together, and then become Steve or become Greg and try and commit a financial crime.
Is it possible for us actually to be so super careful that we don't inadvertently give up that information as we live our daily lives?
It's kind of hard, right? We have to be careful about what's the URL we're going to. We have to be careful not to click links that we don't know what that link is to. But we have to be somewhat careful and on guard to make sure we don't give our data to the wrong people because they're trying to use it for bad purposes.
Tell us the story of two friends whose identities were compromised. What happened in that situation?
Yeah, we started this business. My cousin and one friend had mortgages put on their homes. And you've seen lots of articles about this. All it takes is for someone to get a driver's license that says they're you, show up at a bank and say, hey, this is my home. I'd like to put a mortgage on my home. If they can prove that they're you, and they can prove there's no mortgage on that home, can they get $100,000 or $200,000 put on the home? And very often they're able to do that, and then you've got to go fight and say, hey, that wasn't me. Prove it wasn't you, and then fight to get it off your loan and fix your credit and do everything else about you. And it's horrific to the people it happens to because it's hours and hours of time it takes you to go restore your credit, to go get things fixed. And so we think there's a way to solve this. There's a lot of work that we're doing now to help solve this for Canadians. The Canadian government is doing a great job at promoting kind of a digital identity ecosystem to bring in lots of players to help solve this. But people realize it's a real problem.
Just tell us more about what that means, a digital identity ecosystem. What does that involve?
So what it means, there's some starts that are happening today already, right? For most people, we have hundreds of websites that we go to. The way you prove you're you is typically this username and password ritual that we have, right? Uppercase, lowercase, number, letter, username and password. It doesn't work because we can't remember for 100 different sites what is my uppercase, lowercase, number, letter, password. In Canada, what the federal government did is they said, hey, let's make this easier for Canadians. What if you could log into CRA? What if you could log into unemployment? What if you could log into benefits and use your bank to log in? So you don't have to remember yet another number, letter, password. But when you come back, it's really secure because the bank is keeping you safe. They're checking what device you're on. They're checking location. And you can now log on to CRA or those sites without remembering yet another password to prove who you are. And millions of Canadians use that. And it's great for citizens. It's great for government because it brings people in faster. And it's great for us because we don't have to remember something else that we're not going to remember next year when we come back to do our taxes.
I get the sense you're telling me, though, it's not fail-safe.
It's actually a really good system. So that one for logging in is really good. The challenge is, how do I prove who I am? And how do I make this work for things like healthcare and the rest? Because some of these systems, people are very good about proving who you are the first time you come in. Come show your health card to prove who you are, and then they give you an access. But if you forget your password, how do they reset it? They send a note to your email. Well, if someone takes over my email and then comes in and says, hey, reset my password, they can become me in different contexts that are unintended. So
I would have thought, though, that, I mean, your picture's on your driver's license now, isn't it? Your picture's on your health card, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So how does that not stop so much of this?
I don't want to tell tales on my children, but it's possible that people can get driver's licenses that say they're of age or other things without actually being of age.
Are you busting your kids here on television?
Maybe busting my kids on television. But the challenge is, it's not hard to get a fake identity, right? And think about your driver's license. When you want to sign up to Airbnb or you want to sign up to Uber, show up, you can show your driver's license front, show it back, show your face. There's so many places you're showing this data. When you check into a hotel, they often say, give me a credit card, show me your driver's license. There's a camera recording that data. All a bad guy has to do is take the data from your driver's license, put their face on it, and now they're you. So this is the problem, right? It's not just digital identity, it's identity in total. The bad guys are figuring out, hey, if I can become Steve or I can become Greg, I can get a mortgage, I can get a loan, I can get a new credit card, I can extract value from the system.
You keep talking about the bad guys. You must know some of these hackers, right?
Yeah, we know some of these hackers. They're, and the challenge is these hackers aren't always here, right? They can be in India, they can be in other countries, and they can perpetrate an attack, send you a letter pretending it's from the CRA or an email, which the CRA won't send you, saying, hey, I demand payment right now. And they get some small percentage of people to respond to that. If it doesn't work, they try again, and they try again, and they try again. And it's very hard to catch them because they're overseas, and they're trying to socially engineer the attacks to get you to give up information that they can use.
These hackers, do they fit a particular set of characteristics or demographic?
Yeah, the challenge is a lot of them, like some of them aren't, it used to be that they weren't well worded in some of their attacks and things like that. Now they're getting much better. They're socially engineering attacks. They're trying to get data. They're trying to perpetrate things, and they're smart, right? They're using things like AI, so artificial intelligence. An example that's horrific to some people is kind of my wife got an email to say upgrade your email system to the new version of it, and she clicked on the link and she upgraded her email. Unbeknownst to her, it wasn't from her email provider. It was from someone else. They took over her email. Within 30 minutes of taking over her email, they had created a new email account in her name. They had mined her email. They had sent a letter to her private banker saying, hey, can you transfer $50,000 to this account? And it's all just engineering. They're taking the data, they're mining the data, and they're figuring out how can I pretend to be her and then create this attack.
Did that happen? Did
so the bank unfortunately stopped it in that circumstance because they called her and said, hey, this isn't appropriate behavior, normal behavior. But the bad guys are getting smarter. They're not the hooded, masked person that's trying to rob you in the alley anymore. They're smart cyber criminals that are trying to get data for all these purposes. And they're breaching big databases to get lots of data about us.
Which among us, or who among us, are the most vulnerable to these attacks?
Yeah, it's kind of everyone, right? They don't really care. They're kind of not really worried about who they're going after. It doesn't matter whether it's getting your credit card number to do an online credit card attack or getting your name and address to do a full identity kind of takeover. Wherever they can get value, they're going. So if they mount a campaign and they send it out to 5 million people, if 0.1 of 1% click, those are the ones that they're attacking, right? Give me the data, give me your SIN number, give me your name and address, give me the answers to your questions, give me your login to your bank. They're always trying to get data about you and trying to become you to get value.
But the assumption is that well, anyway, this is the stereotype. You tell me if it's true. Tend to be older, tend to be female, tend to be lonelier, tend to be not particularly savvy online, therefore respond to this kind of entreaty. Any of that true?
They're not, though. I'm seeing things all the time, and you've probably seen things yourself. You're getting an email, it looks like it's from someone you know, there's a link in the email, here's a funny story, click here. It's very hard. Like, it's no longer someone, we're not being stupid when we click on a link or when we do something like that. They're actually engineering these well enough that they're getting common sense folks to click on them and give up data they don't otherwise want to give up.
And the assumption is that the hackers are all 24-year-old kids in some basement somewhere, probably male. Is that true?
I don't think so. I think they're all over the world and they're all about getting data. And it's a business, right? They try one attack, it doesn't work, they try another attack. But see, there's so many sources of data that they're getting. Like, it used to be the way was to log in. Now they can get copies of your driver's license, right? They can actually make a fake driver's license and pretend that they're you. So how do you prove who you are? Like, this problem we've created with the internet, where I have to know my uppercase, lowercase, number, letter, password at 100 different sites, isn't a solvable problem. You know, for most of us, if you had to remember 6 phone numbers of your wife, of your kids, of your parents, you could remember them. A lot of these places, they change every 6 months. So keep changing those passwords. You can't remember 100 passwords. So how do you start making it simpler for people to use these things?
Well, let's follow up on that. What is the best way to protect yourself from all that?
So the stuff that's coming in Canada, the federal government with this concierge service that we have to log in there using a trusted and secure credential like your bank is one of the steps that is happening. The stuff that's coming next is this whole ecosystem we talk about, where we're trying to get the banks to work together with telco, to work together with government, to make it easier for you to prove who you are. So an example would be when you use your credit card. In order to be you, to use your credit card, you have to have that piece of plastic that has a chip inside it, and you have to know the PIN that goes with the credit card. What if to prove your identity, to prove you're you, you had to have your phone and you had to be able to log into your bank? So for someone to be you, they can't just know your bank password or phish your bank password from you. They actually have to have your phone and your bank password. That starts to make it much harder for the bad person to become you.
That's an extra step, though, that makes it a little less convenient than it used to be. Do you think the public would buy that?
Yeah, I think they do. I think with this concern about people getting my data and knowing where I'm going, like think about the kinds of things we access, right? I want to access my health records. I don't want other people to get my health records. I don't want people like Google or Facebook actually mining or knowing I went to this kind of health provider or that provider or I got this cream. I kind of want some of that to be private. And I realize with some of this data, like my health records, if they get out in the public, you can't ever get them back if they get on the internet, right? I could be unemployable, I could be uninsurable. There's a duty of care that's needed to protect this and keep it secure. Same with taxes, same with my financial information. I don't really want others to get into that and I want to keep it very private. So there's a class of services that I want to be secure enough. If it's too hard, people won't do it. Right. So how do you make it simple enough to do it? How do we remove the friction and make it simpler? And that's, I think, what's coming in Canada is this notion of I should be able to show up at a bank to create a new account and prove who I am from another bank and that I have this phone and maybe this data from a credit provider in a couple clicks and make it more secure and less friction than today. Show up in person, show a driver's license. That's not frictionless in itself.
Let me turn another example here, say from a futuristic movie. Are we coming to a point where you're going to put your credit card into one of those machines and maybe you've got to put your thumb on a scanner at the same time and they're going to check the retina in your eye? All three at once? You got to pass all three, otherwise forget it?
It's a great question. In the security world, what we try and think about is three different factors, right? One is the what I know. Do you know your PIN or do you know your password? One is the what I have. Maybe I just have this cell phone or this credit card, as you say. And the third one is biometrics. Can I put my finger on my phone? Can I turn on the camera on the phone and check my face against the Ontario database and tell that it's actually me? The combination of those three makes it much harder for the bad person to become you.
What do you do?
What do I do to protect myself?
Well, no, I mean, you're in the business of trying to make sure that the bad guys don't win.
So we help bring these folks together, right? If I'm any party in Canada, if I'm the federal government, if I'm a province, if I'm a bank, if I'm a telco, everyone's trying to get more digital. How do I make it easier for my customers to create new accounts? How do I make it harder for a bad person to create a customer or someone who they're not? And how do I get things done? So this ecosystem we talk about, that's what we're busy building now. We're building an ecosystem among all of the nation's banks. You saw we recently took investment from Royal Bank and TD and Scotia and BMO and CIBC and National and Desjardins, where they said, look, this is a problem we have to go fix. It's not just about banking, but how do we bring together telcos and banks and government to say, hey, this is a solvable problem. Let's make it easier for Canadians to get things done, and let's make it more secure for everybody.
You ever been scammed?
I have not been scammed. But that's just luck. That's not skill in any way, shape, or form. That's just
it's got to be more than that. I mean, you, after all, know more about this than the average Joe.
We know more of the cyber things that are there. I mean, so I wouldn't say never, because I've gone to different countries and people have gotten a hold of my credit card number and used it. But the nice thing about that is the bank will keep you whole. And they'll refund the dollars that come there, but no full identity on identity theft.
We did a little survey here, and there are businesses which offer protection to individuals. They've got names like LifeLock, Identity Guard, Privacy Guard. How do they all work?
So all of those companies are going after this need, this perception by people that, hey, people are taking my data and they're using it and they're trying to become me. So let's get monitoring services. Let me pay for something to protect me to go around there. It's kind of, we shouldn't have to do that.
Is that advisable, though?
If you're concerned about your identity and where you are, some people, they want to do it. It's good to protect where you are and to protect your credit. I don't think that should be a state that we have to get to, because I think working together between banking, telecom, and government, there's a solution we can have where it isn't something consumers have to pay extra for. It should be a duty of care that's available to me. Right? If a provider wants to hold data on me and they're going to share it on my behalf, I should be able to consent to sharing my data.
The Economist magazine put it this way: the identity theft protection offered by these services is more akin to a car alarm than a door lock. Do you like that analogy?
It's like that, right? It tells you if something's gone on. If someone's accessed your credit, someone's getting a mortgage in your name, hey, I'm going to let you know that someone's already going to do this. So sometimes it's after the fact, but it's a service that people want, because the problem is this fraud problem, this problem of proving who you are is pervasive, and it's getting bigger. 7.8 billion records stolen so far. They're stealing the records because they want to get data, they want to become people.
Okay, take us into the future.
Yeah.
Paint us the picture, as we like to colloquially say, about a world where cyber identities are going to be safer.
Yeah.
Trying to remember your multitude of passwords isn't going to be a factor anymore.
Yeah.
What do you see?
So I show up at healthcare and I want to see my records. And instead of having different passwords at every provider, I can just take my phone, as you say, take a picture of click a code, put my finger on the phone to prove that it's me, and I can log in. I don't have to remember new passwords, I don't have to do anything else. But I've proven via a combination of what I have, biometrics, sometimes my password for what I know, that it's me. And I can log onto my health records, I can go to the government and pay my taxes, I can create a new bank account in a different place, without having hundreds of new passwords and new things. But this combination of, as you talked about, biometrics, plus knowledge-based things that trusted parties like my bank provide, plus phones that we carry, all of those come together to create a footprint about us and let us share our data. But the big point I'd make about this, Steve, is what we're trying to do is do it in a privacy-respecting manner. So we're trying to say, when I want to share my data because I want to get a loan, I should consent to that. I should say, hey, do you consent to share your credit data with this provider? Yes, I do. And they can get my data, and I can get a loan on it. But otherwise, my financial, my proprietary data should be confidential to me, and only with my consent can I release it.
Gotcha. Just in our last 20 seconds here,
Yeah.
there have been thieves since time immemorial, and they always figure out how to stay one step ahead of the good guys.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we just expect that's the way it's always going to be?
We have to keep raising the bar, right? Just because there's thieves doesn't mean we just give up and say, okay, this is going to happen, and it's there. It's horrific when it happens to people, so how do we protect all of us? How do we make sure our data is ours and we can use it and feel comfortable and not feel at risk all the time?
Good. Well, thanks for the 411 on that. That's Greg Wolfond, CEO, Secure Key Technologies.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Greg.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.